Dear students, in this module we'll talk about structure and function of deoxyribonucleic acid, that is DNA, which is present inside the nucleus. So it's a molecule present in the nucleus and codes for genetic information. So it appears as a darkly stained structure present inside the nucleus. So when a cell divides into two, the genetic material undergoes replication, and it is like a finger kind of structure having two ribbons shaped entities. Talking about the DNA, it is a polymer which is made up of n number of monomeric units. That means many monomers, they come up together and then form a polymer. Like DNA is a polymer which is formed out of n linkage of n number of nucleotides. Like starch, it is a polymer found out of the monomeric units which are referred to as glucose. So many glucose moieties, they get linked up together to form the starch, that's a polysaccharide. Now DNA, it's a polynucleotide which is formed out of the monomeric unit which are referred to as the nucleotides. So many nucleotides, they come up together to form a polynucleotide. The nucleotide basically comprises of the sugar, the phosphate, and the nitrogenous base. So the one in red is a phosphate, brown sugar, and green a nitrogenous base. Nitrogenous base consists of nitrogen and releases hydroxyl group. Talking about the IUPAC naming, so between the sugar and the nitrogenous base, there's a glycosidic bond which is present. And between the sugar and the phosphate, there's a phosphodiester bond which is present. The sugar which is present, that is deoxyribose, and phosphate can be represented in this manner. Ribose is a pentose sugar. The base, when we talk about, it is nitrogenous because it contains the nitrogen and it releases hydroxyl group. So the nitrogenous bases are purines and pyrimidines, including adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine, respectively. The four types of nucleotides are the one formed by the combination of thiamine, the other by cytosine, the next formed by the combination of adenine, and last but not the least formed by the combination of guanine. So these are the four different types of nucleotides. Thymine and cytosine referred to as the pyrimidines, and adenine and guanine, which are double ring structured, referred to as the purines. Talking about the starch, that is a polymer, it is made up of linkage of n number of glucose units so as to form the polymer that's the starch. Now, talking about, so this is the structure of the starch where 1,6 linkage is being depicted. Talking about the nucleotides, so it has got the sugar phosphate backbone, and in the center the steps are formed out of the nitrogenous bases. They are A, T, G, and C. So the one depicted in blue, that's the sugar phosphate backbone, and the one depicted in orange, that's the nitrogenous base, which could be formed between AT or G and C. When we'll untwist it, we'll get a step ladder model of a DNA where we can see that the steps are the nitrogenous base and the rim or the outer boundary of the ladder is formed out of sugar and phosphate depicted in blue, and the one depicted in orange are the nitrogenous bases, the base pairs between AT, G and C. How two nucleotides they are joined together? There is the question which comes up in our mind. So the linkage takes place between the two nucleotides with the help of 3' 5' phosphodiester linkage. Now the sugar, it has been labeled, it has got 5 carbon atoms. So we can see that here, between the sugar and the nitrogenous base, it's the glycosidic bond. The third carbon atom of the sugar gets linked to the fifth carbon atom of the other sugar, thus forming 3' 5' phosphodiester linkage. So the bond So the bond which is formed, that is 3' 5' phosphodiester linkage, which is formed between one nucleotide and between the other nucleotide, which is referred to as a dinucleotide. So here we get the chain formed by phosphodiester linkage. So what we see is a complete double-stranded polynucleotide chain having the sugar phosphate backbone and the steps which are formed by the nitrogenous bases, that is A, T, G and C. So here the backbone depicted in blue, that's the one where the sugar and phosphate are interlinked, and the one depicted with orange, there is the presence of base. Now A will establish a double bond with T and G will establish a triple bond with C. So the bond between A and T, that is, so the one depicted in green, that's the single ringed nitrogenous base. Talking about the directionality of the DNA, so it's anti-parallel in nature, where the one end is 5' of the same strand and the other end, that's the 3' of the same strand. So it is 5' to 3' in case of one strand, and in the other it is 3' to 5'. The end-to-end chemical orientation of a single strand of a nucleic acid. So we can see it over here, it's marked as the 5' phosphate and the other end is the 3' hydroxyl end of the sugar. So this is the 5' end. So it's from the 5' to the 3' end. The 5' phosphate group is projecting out, as can be seen over here. But for the other strand, when we talk about, it will be anti-parallel. That means it will be 3' to 5' end. And therefore, when we talk about the DNA on the whole, it shows opposite polarity, or it is anti-parallel in nature, having the polarity of the other strand from 3' to 5'. Thus, it is anti-parallel in nature. How two nucleotides are joined together? So we have seen that the complementary base pairing describes the manner in which the nitrogenous bases align with each other of the DNA molecules. Now this adenine will bond with thymine. That means A will form a double bond with T, guanine will bond with cytosine, there will be a triple bond. In the similar manner, ATGC will keep on bonding so that the equivalency is maintained. So thus we can see that there is formation of the hydrogen bonds between the nitrogenous bases, leading to the formation of a double-stranded polynucleotide chain, that's a DNA, which is 2.2 meter long. Hopefully you must have understood. Thank you.